Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. I'm here today as a sort of a sequel video that follows a video I made the other day. So I hope that this one is also something that works for you. The first one I did, and I posted already, is books that were set in a city or a place that I have been and maybe lived there, but maybe didn't, but I visited at least. This one is books that are set in a place that I've never been and that I would really kind of like to go to. And so this group of books is kind of along the same vein. There's a little bit of historical fiction, there's some literary, contemporary fiction, there's lots of thrillery, psychological, creepy stuff in that regard as well. And one is historical fiction. So let's get going, huh? This one is going to be a great stack too. And as I said in the other video, if I have a stack of books that I'm really interested in, I'm probably likely to finish them. So I'll tell you now and again when I read them in my reading wrap-up videos. So the first one is Black Ice by Karen Gerhardsen. This is set, I think, on an island outside of Sweden. I picked this one because my family is from Sweden and Norway, and I would really like to read a book set in Sweden and visit there one day. And this one was recommended by Ragnar Jonasson, who's the author of the Dark Iceland series. And so I love these kinds of books and set in this kind of space, and this would be a good time to read it. It's not cold here right now, but it was, and it might get cold again, but maybe I'll read it in the summer when I need a book about ice and cold. But this one is about, this is January where it's set. This one is about two women, but this is a bit tricky. So there's a deadly accident, and there are two separate crimes that are sort of involved in this accident, and a man is killed back in January in Gotland. And 4 years later, a phone call brings back that day to some people who were involved, I think, two women who both had different reasons for being there and different experiences as a result, but they both had driven by the same space. And one was in the car that caused the crash, and the other one just left the man to die in the snow. So fast forward, these women have these secrets about what happened, but it also says that those secrets could connect them to a larger crime, perhaps, or a larger event that would really damage their reputation. And there's somebody else out there who knows exactly what happened and who they are, and could maybe be something that's going to disrupt their whole lives. I think this sounds really good. I love this cover. It's so pretty. And it was a Publishers Weekly Best Mystery Book of 2021. So let's go together to Sweden if you should so choose. Another place I've never been but would also really love to get to at some point in my life is Canada. So this is Last Night in Montreal. Emily St. John Mandel, an author I have enjoyed very much. I love Station 11. I also really enjoyed, now I'm going to have to look it up because it's been a while, the Lola Quartet. I don't think I've read another one. I don't know. But this one is about a young girl whose name is Lilia Albert, and when she was a child, she disappeared from her mother's home and was abducted from her mother by her father, whom I guess she lived with then for a period of time. But this book is now set in her present day, where she's in a relationship with a guy, and they're in New York in an apartment in Brooklyn or somewhere. And she disappears one day when she goes out to get the newspaper. Of course, her boyfriend tries to figure out what happened to her. Somehow he must recognize that she's headed to Montreal, and he's on a quest to see if he can find her. And she is involved in a deeper mystery that will set the past and present spinning toward collision. Sounds really good to me. I really enjoy this author. Let's do it. Let's go to Montreal. All right, this one is set in London. I recently talked about it because my daughter gave it to me and I hauled it. This is Lisa Jewell's None of This Is True. It is something I've already mentioned the synopsis around, but if you didn't see that video, I'll just briefly let you know that this is about a woman whose name is Alex, and she is turning 45, and she meets a woman whose name is Josie Fair, and Josie is also turning 45. So they connect with each other, they kind of hit it off, and Alex has a podcast, so she's telling Josie about this, and Josie says, "Oh, I'd like to be a guest on your podcast." So she agrees, and Josie tells her this very strange, far-fetched story, and Alex is a bit shaken by that. Her life seems to be strange and complicated, and Alex finds her unsettling, but she keeps going with the project, and then Josie Fair disappears. Sounds like it's right up my street, right? So let's go to London because I'd love to live there or even just visit one day. Meanwhile, we could go to Ireland to read and be in the space of Trespasses in Dublin, I think, by Louise Kennedy. This is really a book I've had for way too long. It was hyped a lot. It was on a couple of book prizes. It, I think, almost won several of them. And here we go. Northern Ireland during the Troubles, which is the unrest, the political divide, the difficulty, fighting, killing, terrible stuff. And Cushla lives in a place near Dublin, I think. No, near Belfast. She's a teacher by day at a parochial school, and she is a bartender at their pub, her family's pub, by night. And she meets a man whose name is Michael Agnew. He's a barrister, and he's made a living defending IRA members, which I think might be a conflict between him and her parents' political support and views, but I can't remember that for sure. But she's drawn in by him. And then the father of a student of hers is tragically beaten. And this puts in motion a number of things that occur that she gets kind of stuck in the middle of. And I'm not certain what's going to happen to them, to her. I just loved this premise. Would love to go to Ireland. I love this cover. I love this time period. And yes, let's do that too. Let's go to Ireland. Then we can go to Australia if you'd like to be in the space of the first novel that features Aaron Falk as a character. And this is The Dry by Jane Harper. And I just got this one last year, I think, used copy of this, because I had the other two and didn't want to start those until I got to the first one. So Australia is where we're headed now. Aaron Falk hasn't been back to his home in over 20 years, but his friend Luke is dead, and he gets the word, and he goes to and wants to be at the funeral. And when he gets a note that says, "Luke lied, you lied, be at the funeral," he's swept back into the secrets of this place that he left long ago. And I have heard great things about this book. I have read some other books by Jane Harper. I remember enjoying them, one more than the other, but also this was kind of, I think, one of the first things that she wrote. So the other books that I've read are not a part of this series. I think they're all standalones, but this was published in 2016, I think. It's been out for a while. Yeah, 2016. So The Dry by Jane Harper. This one is a popular series, and I hear that Aaron Falk is a great character. I just don't know. This one, it has craziness abounding. It has a crazy cover, and I understand it has a bit of a crazy plot, but people are really enjoying this literary fiction. Discontent, Beatriz Serrano. This one was a Book of the Month Club selection last year in September on my birthday. And this one grabbed me when I saw this cover. I'm telling you, this looks like a woman who's a bit unhinged, right? And she is. So this is about Marisa's life. It looks great. She lives in Madrid, which is another place I would love to visit one day. And she has a hot neighbor who she sleeps with periodically, and she's successful in this agency, advertising agency, but she's in a dark hole of dread, and she is just barely existing. She drinks a lot. She hates her job. She hates everyone she works with. And she is absolutely in her discontent era, which some of you can relate to. She also binges YouTube videos, which I think makes us pals from the start. But she goes on this event with her team, a retreat, a team building retreat. Can you imagine how excited she is about that? And she's forced to go, and it's in the Segovia forest, surrounded by psychopathic bosses, overzealous coworkers, flirty retreat staff, and an excess of drugs. She finds her carefully crafted office persona is beginning to crack. So I think she's been a little bit naughty for a while, and then the naughtiness is exposed. This one is super short. I feel like I could read this in one day if I was so motivated to do so. And this would also, kind of get me this Book of the Month Club backlist down. But I have heard, I think this one was nominated for a Goodreads Award. I think it was. But I've heard people enjoy it. I've heard that it's rowdy and raucous, and I'd never heard of this author. She lives in Madrid, and she wrote a lot for magazines, it looks like. So, ready to go to Madrid? Imagine the adventures we can have when we read books that are set in places that we would like to go. It helps us to learn the culture of other countries. It helps us to learn about practices and beliefs and systems and just the way that people adjust to their surroundings and their settings, especially if they're not originally from that place, but also if they are, their backstories and all of the things that you need to know about them in order to enjoy these books. They sound fantastic to me, so I'm going to give that a go this year at some point, one by one. If I can get through them all, I'll be very, very happy. So stay tuned for the reading wrap-ups, as I said earlier, and let me know in the comments below if you've read these, if you want to read these, and if you don't want to say anything in the comments below, you certainly don't have to, but you could put a flag of the country that these books are set in, or the city, whatever you would like. And if you like this video, if you want to give it a thumbs up, that would be great. I remind you guys of this periodically, and those of you who've been here for a while already know this, but if you haven't been a subscriber to my channel, we'd love to have you, and we'd love to see what your reading styles are and see if these books were a hit for you or a miss, perhaps, because that's possible for sure. So here's the stack. I'll show you one more time. I think this is a pretty good stack. I really do. I think I'm going to love each of these. I hope so anyway. So thanks again for watching. Thanks for your support. And as always, happy reading and happy traveling. Bye.